Donald Trump has won New Hampshire's Republican presidential primary polls, delivering a setback to rival Nikki Haley, who is running out of time to establish herself as a viable alternative to him. Attendees watch election results during a watch party at the New Hampshire Institute of Politics in Manchester, New Hampshire, U.S. Donald Trump won the New Hampshire Republican primary, AP said, the latest sign of the former president's dominance over the GOP field. Attendees watch election results during a watch party at the New Hampshire Institute of Politics in Manchester, New Hampshire, U.S. Donald Trump won the New Hampshire Republican primary, AP said, the latest sign of the former president's dominance over the GOP field. U.S. Presidential Polls 2024, Donald Trump has won New Hampshire's Republican presidential primary, delivering a setback to rival Nikki Haley. With the latest GOP primary results, it seems a rematch between U.S. President and Democrat leader Joe Biden and Republican former U.S. President Donald Trump is highly likely. Nikki Haley, who is running out of time to establish herself as a viable alternative to Donald Trump, finished second in New Hampshire. Nikki Haley evidently suffered a setback in her effort to reset the GOP nomination race. She was the last major challenger in the race after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis ended his presidential bid over the weekend, allowing her to campaign as the sole alternative to Trump. Nikki Haley had intensified her criticism of former President Donald Trump, questioning his mental acuity and pitching herself as a unifying candidate who would usher in generational change. Nikki Haley said making Donald Trump the Republican candidate for the U.S. presidential elections 2024 is a Biden win. Donald Trump won the Iowa caucuses by 30 points. Nikki Haley finished third, behind Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who ended his campaign last week. Next month's South Carolina primary is the next state where both Donald Trump and Nikki Haley would compete. Nikki Haley was twice elected governor of her home state, but almost every top elected Republican in South Carolina backs Donald Trump for the 2024 presidential elections. Donald Trump can now boast of being the first Republican presidential candidate to win open races in Iowa and New Hampshire since both states began leading the election calendar in 1976, a striking sign of how rapidly Republicans have rallied around him to make him their nominee for the third consecutive time. Nikki Haley, the last major GOP opponent of Donald Trump, insisted she would not drop out if she loses Tuesday's New Hampshire primary to the former president, who aimed for a commanding victory to make a November rematch with President Joe Biden more likely than ever. Notably, Donald Trump had won New Hampshire's Republican primary big during his first run for president in 2016. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden won New Hampshire's largely symbolic Democratic primary on Tuesday, prevailing in an unusual write-in effort after he refused to campaign or appear on the ballot in the state.